Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Pelzer, and I will be hosting this wonderful IG Live. I'm going to be inviting Edward Hillel, who is our artistic director for the G Project today. So let me try to get him on. But while I am getting him, oh, he actually just popped on, so I'm going to invite him up now. Thank you very much for joining us. And then Edward looks like he is coming on board. Hello,
Hey,
Edward. How are you?
Richard, thank you. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for joining us today on this wonderful Wednesday here in July.
Absolutely. Yes, it is a wonderful day
It is a
in New
wonderful
York,
day. So I'm
in
really
Harlem
excited
specifically.
that we are having our conversation on G session. So I'm a part of the G team, and I guess it's the four of us. We have a huge group of folks, but the four G staff right now is a part. So I'm very excited to be representing them, and I will be hosting today. So I'm going to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad you set this up.
Good. Thank you, everybody that's out there in IG land. We actually have a couple of viewers. Hi, everyone. So,
Hello, everyone.
Edward, if you would be able to just set us up a little bit, if you could just tell us what the G Project is all about, I would greatly appreciate it. I already did a little introduction and let everybody know that you are our artistic director for the G Project. And this was a project that you kind of headed, and the G team is now all on board. So we would like to hear from the headmaster.
Hardly the headmaster, just a worker. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on to the project in the past few months and year, and thank you for everything you do and organizing this. And I should probably quickly congratulate you for the incredible mural, Black Lives Matter mural you did in Harlem,
Thank
which
you.
you co-produced, which you brought together, great artists, some of them my friends, and hundreds of volunteers. And I love the fact that we can see it from outer space. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We actually videotaped it, so hopefully I'll have a short little video by next week that I'll be able to share with the whole G Project team and staff.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, so let's start. So basically the Generation Project, which became the G Project, is a public art campaign, and it's based on a simple idea that we are all immigrants. We've all been nomads basically since the first humans populated the planet. All of us are from elsewhere, and we came here, wherever here is, but for us it's the United States right now. We came here whether by force, such as the ancestors of African Americans, whether to escape other genocides, such as many other immigrants that have been here, or climate change, or for the opportunities and inclusion that defines the United States, basically. And so the idea of the G Project started with a dear friend of mine, Bertha Lewis, who is an extraordinary human and community organizer who has been organizing around minority and invisibility and Black Lives Matter issues for 50 years. An
Mhm.
extraordinary person who founded the Black Institute. And in 2014, I became their artist in residence. And Bertha started talking to me about how we approach this issue of African Americans and starting to think about the African American community as part of the immigrant community of the United States.
Right.
So that's why I came up with this concept of the G Project. So it started with the African diaspora, and it was initially a photography and video portraiture project. So when Donald Trump was elected president, in not a small part on a kind of a virulent anti-immigrant platform, that catalyzed, you know, what I think is kind of like the dark ages of this in this country, dismantling kind of foundational truth in the United States that we are a country of immigrants.
Correct.
And that's precisely why we've become the promised land for so many.
Okay.
So luckily, fortuitously at that time, I met Lorna Harris, who has now become our executive producer. And we started developing the project into what it is today.
Okay.
So the idea is really simple. We're all G's, right? We're all of a generation. We're all G's. And if we start to recognize each other by the number of generations we've been in this country, then our similarities will far outweigh our differences.
Correct.
Right?
I believe that.
It's pretty simple. So basically, G0s are born where? Elsewhere, right? G1s are first generation Americans, and so on. G3s are third generation, G6s are sixth generation, and thanks to science, we have DNA tests that tell us that G17s and later descended from the first white European settlers and or African slaves from the 1600s.
Okay.
So immediately, if you start thinking that way about this country, you realize from the inception, it has this double identity, this founding identity of people from Europe and people from Africa. And then even more miraculously, we now know that indigenous people could be G433 and older.
Okay. So I have a question for you.
Getting a little fuzzy.
I have a question for you, Edward. So what is your G status? Can you just tell us a little bit about you and your G status?
I am from outer space. No, I'm joking. Well, I'm actually quite simple. I'm a G0 because I was born in Baghdad in Iraq. So I'm basically, I consider myself a Babylonian really, because Iraq only became a country in 1918 after it was divided, after the loss of the Ottoman Empire to us, to the West, to the Allies, when the Middle East was divided into territories between the English, the French, the Americans, the Belgians, etc. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's when Iraq, the country's geography, was created. Baghdad, of course, is a much older story that goes back thousands of years, and I'm in fact the first of people who descended from that territory, that land, for 2,600 years. So I'm a G0. You want to tell me your G status?
My G status. Well, it's really interesting because when I started working with the project, it gave me a chance to sit and talk to not only my parents, my grandparents. I happen to know my great grandmother. She had passed away, but I started working with my sister, kind of going all the way back as far as we could actually go. So my G status right now, and I believe I am a G4. And we can go back all the way to G7. I think it's G7. So I have to just double check that and make sure. So if I did it right, I believe I'm a G. I can go back 7 generations.
So that's fascinating, because there's so many cases like that, and people say, well, if on one side I'm a G6 and one side I'm a G8, what does that make me?
Right.
And I don't really have the answer. I mean, this is what art does. One of the things art does is create conversation and create dialogue. And really this is a process kind of work, right?
It
So
is
it's
a
about
process.
this dialogue that this is happening. And if we can have this dialogue with people who aren't used to speaking to people like us and vice versa, then this project will have created what it wants to do.
Well, I know that you mentioned that this is a public art project, which I also thought was very interesting because, again, when I started talking to my mom and talking to my dad, and then my sisters, and then my nephews, it became also a family project for us to really start
Yeah, wonderful.
to talk and trace our history. So I'm very excited, one, to be a part of this project, and two, I wanted to see if you can just talk a little bit about the public art project. And then my next question, there's two questions in there. How can other people participate and join in on this as well? So that's my two questions for you.
Let's see how much time we have. About a few minutes.
Yep.
10 minutes. We're good. Yeah, so the first question being
Public art.
how is it a public art project? So last year we started to organize, to design how we want the project to unfold. And it would include educational programs and workshops where the public can participate in finding their own G status and sharing it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Would include exhibitions, but the whole project would be centered around a nomadic sculpture, a nomadic public art sculpture that would have interactive components and that would travel to different locations, first across the United States and then internationally, because obviously the demonization of immigrants is quite a global problem right now.
Right.
So that was the intention, and it continues to be the intention. And so this action of launching the G sessions is part of it, except as a result of the pandemic, we have taken it to the virtual world, and excited to see how it unfolds and how we get people involved with us.
Great.
So then the second question is how do we get people involved with us? And so this is why we designed these G sessions. So they will operate as a kind of like a season of programs that you might have on television. So each season will have 6 episodes. This is the first, and over the next 4 or 5 Wednesdays, we have a program every Wednesday. So that's the first 5 episodes. Well, you will meet one host and one guest who will discuss the guest's G status. Now, on the final episode, we're going to invite all the communities that the guests are involved with, as well as the public, to a big Zoom room where together we're all going to discover our G status. We're all going to answer what is our G status. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be quick because we're all tired of long Zoom calls. And it's going to bring us together.
I think that that's actually really great. Well, Edward, I just wanted actually just to mention, as the communications director for the project, I would love to invite everyone that's watching and listening to go to our website, which is gproject.org. You will be able to see how you will be able to participate. We would love to hear from you, and hopefully you'll be willing and join in to share your G status with us. We would love for you to send in an image, a picture, a short story, and we would love to share and post that on our Instagram and our Facebook page. And as Edward mentioned, on Saturday, August the 22nd, we're going to be doing this virtual, I would say our virtual "What is your status?" G status project discovery workshop. So
Right.
we will have all of the information. We're going to share it. And hopefully you guys would come back next Wednesday to join us at 4 o'clock to hear our next story. Did I leave anything out, Edward?
I don't think so. We're going to have a program so people know who's going out there. I guess we're going to circulate all that.
Yes, we're going to circulate all of the information and get it all tight and ready. And so hopefully you can save the next 4 Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be here on Instagram Live.
20 minutes. Quickie.
20 minutes. That's all we need. You could do it all on a break. 20 minutes.
Yes, and of course, you're going to bring some extraordinary people, and I'm sure the conversations will continue after, so hopefully we can record them and then people can hear longer conversations if they're interested.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody that's watching. And
thank you.
We will talk to you soon. Thank you, Edward. It was great talking to you.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.